What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and we are 1 week away from the NFL draft. Ladies and gentlemen, I just keep getting more and more excited as I go through each position. It's just, we have a lot of holes on this team. We have a very bright future in my mind. A lot of pieces we need to fill in, though, to see that bright future actually happen. So, with 10 picks, that leaves us in a good position. So we're going through each position and talking about day one, guys, day two, day three, and where we could see the Eagles going ahead and grabbing themselves, whatever position that may be. So today we are going through running backs. So we got Miles Sanders last year in the 5th round, Kenny Gainwell. We know who the Eagles have. Actually, let me pop that up for you. You got Kenny Gainwell. You got Jason Huntley. Boston Scott was brought back. Jordan Howard is an unrestricted free agent. We all know that he did not even really become part of this team till week 9 when we finally brought him and used him. So I think that we'll probably try to get a little younger at the position. I think we may move on from Jordan Howard here. Don't think he gets re-signed. So if he does not, though, if we don't draft somebody, I think that you could definitely bring him back after the draft. So let's keep that in mind. But let's take a look at the Eagles pick this year. Each one of them. Look, all 10 are right there. Now, which do you want to use on which position? Look, there is so much talent and there are so many holes on the Eagles roster that best player available. That's what we're talking about here. So in today's episode, I'll be real with you. I do not have any day one potential guys. Now, look, some of these kids are pretty talented, and maybe somebody at the end of round 1 maybe wants to, go ahead and grab one of these guys. Maybe that happens. But for me, I think most of these guys will probably go on day 2. So let's take a look again at those picks. Probably looking at 51, 83, 101. I'm sure, could trade some picks, move around. But for now, we're just going to talk with the picks we have. So remember that day 2 will be those 3 picks there. And then day 3 is the right side with all 5 of those picks there. So 3 fifths, a 4th, and a 7th. Let's get things moving here. Now, I'll be real with you. Here's some day 2 guys, but there are some people on these lists that I felt like I could have put on day 2, day 3, moving around all over. This guy could probably go in the 3rd round. This could go 4th, all over the place. This running back class is actually pretty loaded with some pretty intriguing talent here where, man, if you could pick the right one and he fits what you're trying to do, I think the Eagles could walk out of this pretty, man. And I'm sure you've heard of most of these guys here on this list. And then there's another list for day 2 guys that some guys that maybe are surprising to some here. I know, look, there are definitely some dudes that probably won't even go to like the 5th, 6th round that are listed on here. And this is the thing. When I was doing this, it's like, look, man, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you I'm an expert and I know where these guys are going to go, this, that, the other thing. I don't. So, and then there are some intriguing guys that maybe, Keontae Ingram. I don't know if he goes in the 3rd round, but I think that kid's very intriguing. We're going to talk about him here, but I think there are some guys that could surprise some people and end up getting taken in the 3rd. So you see some of those names here. And then when you're talking about in day 3, it's going to be a crapshoot where these dudes go. So let's focus on day 2 first. Let's talk about some of the best backs here. Kenneth Walker, one of the most fun backs to watch, 5'10", 210. He is definitely a little guy listed at 5'9" at sometimes. So yeah, he's not the biggest of dudes, but look, that's not important. The only thing is when you're looking at the Eagles roster, we've got Miles Sanders. We've got Kenneth Gainwell. We've even got Boston Scott back here, and Jason Huntley's in the room. So you're probably looking more not for the same thing. But the question is, do the Eagles move on from Miles Sanders? You've heard chatter. You are always going to hear chatter about different positions if a person's hurt or doesn't live up to people's expectations. I love Miles Sanders. Want to see what he can do this year. It was crazy. He didn't have a single touchdown last year. But regardless, this is going to be a running back by committee. So for me, someone like Kenneth Walker, dude, the kid's fantastic. Love watching him. One of the best in this draft class, if not the best. But I do not think the Eagles will be focused on a back like him. Now, you've got a guy like Breece Hall who, holy hell, this kid's pretty fun to watch as well. I'm not going to lie to you. I think all of them, the same can be said. But Breece Hall, a little bit different. 6'1", 220, a little bit bigger there. A little more of your 3-down back. And I think Breece Hall, to me, might be the best running back in this class. And it's weird. I've seen him listed as 6 foot, 5'11, whatever, dude. I don't really care. He's a 6 foot back. Let's consider it that. But, in the Big 12, he was dominating. And I get it. Oh, it's Iowa State. I don't care. This dude has got the size. He's a beast. He can run people over. And we talked about Miles Sanders not getting touchdown. This dude gets touchdowns. Look at that. 48 rushing touchdowns, 20 receiving touchdowns, or I'm sorry, 6 receiving touchdowns, 20 yards per game. I mean, the dude can catch, he can run, he can do it all over the field. We talk about being a 3-down back. He can also block. So I think the dude is going to be pretty good in this league. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, do I think the Eagles are going to take a running back? Now, I do. Now, is it going to be? I don't think it with a second round pick, but maybe with that one of those third round picks, you go ahead. So maybe at 101, you're talking about running back. I one more time to take a look at our picks. Maybe at 83, if somebody falls, you're getting excited. But I'll be real with you. I don't think Walker or Hall are falling to 83. I'm seeing those guys probably around like a 40, 50 range. Somebody finally pulls the trigger. And I mean, that's the lowest for me. And then once that happens, then you're probably going to see pretty good run on running back. So we'll see how that goes. But my man, Drew, what is going on? It's going as well as it can. I hope you're doing well out there. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in tonight. My head's still ring, still trying to figure stuff out, but we're here and we're getting through this draft series. And I'm not going to be able to do a show Saturday or Sunday. So we're going to cram it all in. We're going to do receivers tomorrow. And then after the weekend, I'm going to get the defense in right before the draft. Draft's coming, baby. 1 week away. Drew, I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for always checking in. I hope you are well, man. But we're going through these running backs. So far, you've only missed Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. But just going through talking about these guys and if it's realistic, the Eagles would take any of them. Now, don't see those two ending up on the Eagles, although I would not be mad at all. Now, a young man that could definitely drop to one of those spots where I'm not sure how people feel about it from what I have seen. Don't think he's being held in high regards as I have him. But I think this dude, Jerome Ford, is actually pretty fun to watch. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think he could surprise some people. But they could also be one of those kids, once again, that I think, he could go in the third round and he could end up in the fifth. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he falls any further than the third or fourth. But you never know, man. You really don't. So, but he's another guy that we talk about, being a bruiser. He's 5'11", 220. It's kind of a trend you're going to see from the back that I kind of want, just that NFL size, talking about replacing Jordan Howard. It's not even really about that. It's building toward the future. Having someone like a Jerome Ford with a Kenny Gainwell, that's a pretty nasty 1-2 punch. And this dude actually has those soft hands. Maybe we talk about having with tight ends and backs that we'd love to see. This kid has got them. So another kid that I think is one of the sleepers of this draft that could go in the middle rounds there, maybe round 3. He can actually pass protect. He can actually catch the ball, run the ball. A 3-down back that I think, for me, he's pretty high on the list. Obviously, I think at Cincinnati, it's going to give you a little bit. He went to Cincinnati. Everybody always, we get it. Yes, we know. But keep that in mind. That's all you have to do is while you're breaking this stuff down, okay, this is the competition he's playing against. This is the competition he has on his team and going against. So you have to keep all those things in mind. And I don't know why people, he can't be good, because that's not me. So the one thing about him, he could definitely hold on to the ball a little bit more. He's got some issues. So that's why he's not being held in such high regard, I feel. But for me, I think he's definitely one of the top backs. I would love to see him in the third round. If the Eagles could grab him at 101, I'm not mad at that at all. Now, keep in mind, we're just talking about the position at hand. I want defensive players. I want linebackers, edge rushers, corners, safety, everything. Yes, I do. I want receivers. I want all of it. But we're talking about running backs right now. So just talking about the ones that I think would fit. So that's just in case anybody thinks that I'm just saying this is who we should take. That's not how this works. So up next, Brian Robinson Jr. Now, this dude, holy shit. He's a big dude. 6'4". What the hell's going on there? But yeah, 6'4", 225 pounds. And this is another 3-down back. And we're talking about these kind of guys because imagine having him in this offense. I mean, you've got Miles, you got Kenny, they can do all those things we talking about on the outside. You get a guy like Brian Robinson who can just pound that rock, get you those few extra yards you need, the goal line situations, but he can also catch the damn ball. And the biggest thing that I always mention, pass protection. Can these guys pass protect? And that is one of the things that Brian Robinson can definitely do. And I think he could be the best one at doing it in this draft. So I would love to see this dude in midnight green because holy shit, he's a monster. And I think for his size, he's got some great elusiveness. So add him to the roster, man. I would be holy shit if this guy's in the third round. Give me Brian Robinson all day. Up next is another guy. Now, I think this guy is being held a little bit higher in regards by a lot. And hey, I think he's awesome. 6'1", 215 pounds. This is not a list of order of I'm saying who my favorite back is, anything like that. Just kind of trying to give you a trend here if you notice it. So going through this, talking about these guys that are maybe ideal or not so ideal for the Philadelphia Eagles. This guy, I really think he's one of the top 5 backs and could be top 3. This kid is, I think, he's a nice blend of everything. One of those 3 down backs. Again, as I said, we're trying to do a trend here, and then we'll get more into their singular roles here in a second. But this guy can do it all. And I think he's got great balance. I think he's got great hips. And that's something I watch. He has real fluid movement. And that's something for me. I think coming in here, we're a running back by committee. We were obviously the number 1 rushing attack last year. You need to be able to handle all kinds of different roles. And I think Isaiah Spiller can do all of those things. So I like the kid a lot. I'm not sure. I think he could definitely be one of those guys that goes in the second round. So not so sure that this is somebody the Eagles are going to get. I think he lacks a little bit of the vision there. And I know that's an issue with the certain back we have. Look, it is what it is. It's another guy with some ball handling issues, but these are young men and you never know what they will become and what the right system can do for them. But I just feel some people are probably going to hold him in a higher regard, and he will probably go before the Eagles are looking to take a running back. So that's just my opinion, though. 6'4", yeah, dear Lord. And watch his tape. I mean, the guy looks like just a giant gazelle just running people over. I mean, that's what you like to see. You kind of remind you of like a Darren McFadden. There's big, long strides, just a big dude. And he's fun to watch. I'll be real with you. And he's not somebody that's going to be like everybody's jumping off the page talking about him, but he also might be somebody that people jump off the page just because of his size, but he can do all those things I just mentioned there. And that to me is why I like him so much. Yes, I love that he's a goal line back, but he can catch the ball. He can pass protect. He's the perfect back to what the Philadelphia Eagles need. And up next is a guy that from a school where people probably would prefer I talk about the other running back. But as mentioned, with Kenny Gainwell and Miles Sanders here, I just don't see James Cook being a fit for the Eagles. Maybe if he falls and they're like, dear God, we can't, pass up this kid. He's really talented because he is really talented. But his running mate over there in Georgia, Zamir White, this dude is a bowling ball, 6 foot, 215 pounds short. He's not 6'4". So you know how it goes there, Drew. People, they just look at, numbers and that's all it is to them. And that is not how things work. So we're showing the numbers, but we're talking about them because this kid's nickname is Zeus, right? The numbers don't tell you that. This dude is a beast. And I'm telling you what, if the Eagles could have someone like him in that committee, we had it with Howard. You saw we didn't use it till halfway through the year. The guy was banged up for a portion there. So if we have a young, healthy kid who can actually pound that rock, get me some Zamir White, dude. I'll take Zeus. Love the name already. Dude's got great cutting ability too for his size. I think that he's just a monster. He drags people with him. So if you turn on the tape, you're going to probably be pretty infatuated because this kid is what the Eagles need. So the one thing you're going to hear about him is the injury concern. So yes, we got to watch out for that, but maybe that's why he falls. He's one of those dudes because of that history. Where's he going to go? And what kind of back are these teams looking for? That's why this is such an intriguing position because you don't really know who wants what. If they're enamored with this kid, that kid, the other thing, it's just a fun way to look at everything. But Zamir White, oh yeah, sign me up. Now, speaking of bowling balls, this is another one. And Damian Pierce, man, this is a little fella. And when you're watching your tape, you're like, what? Is he talking about this guy? Yes, I am. This guy is a little dude. He's a thumper, man. And I like watching guys like that because that's what we need right now. So that's kind of what I've been looking at. People that have those violent runs when we just need those 2-3 yards. I don't want Jalen Hurts to have to do that. I don't think we have the other running backs to do that right now. So getting a guy like Pierce, I just think it's a no-brainer. With the guys like this where you look at them and they look like just monsters out there, body type, you're like, oh, well, all he needs to learn is the rest. So some of these guys you're going to see like, oh, you just need to put on some weight, do that, the other, he's got this, that, the other thing. It depends on what you're looking for, how you feel. The Eagles right now have that committee. What they're looking for is a Dameon Pierce. So, yeah, sign me up. Now, here's a little curveball for you. Abram Smith. I think this dude could go in the 6th round, 7th round. He might even go undrafted. But if somebody's looking for someone, I don't know. There's just something about this kid. For me, I think the reason I put a lot of these guys just in categories is just because I'm not doing that right now. And with being all I went through the last few weeks, I just wasn't able to break things down in picture form and video the way I wanted to. So this is what we got to work with here. But look, man, this kid, I think for me, in the simplest way I can set it up for you, he's a 3-down back for me. That look, he's only 5'10", 220. If you're looking at it, 5'11", 220. People have to remember, if you're watching his tape, look, I just talked to you about 5'11", 220 guys and told you they were big. So it's really funny when you hear people talking about these guys, but the guy can block. He was intriguing for me. So it's hard for me to pinpoint where anybody's going to want this kid. But I think for me, he was pretty fun to watch, actually. And, 6 yards per rush, 4.8 yards per game catching. I think that he catches the ball, runs the ball, blocks. A 3-down back, man. You never know where they could go. So I think he could definitely get a little more loose. There's definitely things I could sit here and break down and talk about him. And once again, a guy with injury concerns. So I could sit here and tell you about the negatives, and I'm going to talk about them. But that's not what I'm looking at with a lot of these guys when it's a day 4, or day 3 pick, 4th round, 5th round. You take chances sometimes, and we took a chance on Landon Dickerson. That's worked out pretty well so far. So you never know what you're going to get. You don't. Now, another guy I found very intriguing, Tyler Algier. And I'll be real with you. This guy has been compared to Eckler, I was seeing all kinds of wild stuff. And as I looked at him, I'll be real with you. He's another very intriguing prospect because could he go in the 3rd round? He could. But I don't know if I see it. I think maybe 5th round would be more reasonable for him. But hey, once again, we're going to say this for everybody. Algier here is honestly probably going in the 5th round, but I think any of these guys could be taken higher depending on how a team feels about him. But he's one of those dudes that at 5'11", 220, you're noticing a trend here. This dude is a bruiser, man. And that's what I'm looking for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he's got really decent tape at BYU, and that's hard to gauge. It's BYU, but he's intriguing, man. That's all I'm going to say. I think that honestly, if he goes in day 2, that'd be pretty surprising. So I really don't think he will. Up next, Devontae Price. This kid was probably one of the most fun dudes to watch on tape for me. Holy shit, 6'2", 215. And he honestly kind of looked like a wide receiver as I was watching him. And you could see his receiving stats, 6.8 yards per catch, only 7.1 per game. But when he's catching the ball, man, he's making plays. And he's honestly really exciting to watch. I'll be honest with you. He's got the height, as you can see, the weight. He's fast as hell. And I think he could honestly be a 3-down back in this league. Maybe a guy that's being slept on. And if he falls and maybe at 101, you're in love with this dude, I just really think that it would be a no-brainer. This guy is seriously built like a linebacker / safety hybrid. Like, he's big, man. And I think the linebackers and safeties are going to have a hard time once this dude starts putting on more muscle, because let's keep in mind, he's just a young man here. So holy hell, this is one of my favorite kids in this draft. Definitely go check out his tape. I think that he has shown what he can do. He's just fast as hell for a guy his size, and he's just elusive. He's got that, dude, he's just a thumper as well. He's got everything you would want in a running back. I think he's going to be one of the most slept on dudes in this draft. And you can sign me up all day for Florida Internationals, Devontae Price. Please, for the love of God. Late to the stream, not sure what I missed, but my running back draft can. Brian Robinson. Oh, man, you'll love what I was saying about Brian Robinson then, BMO. We went over him a little bit, pretty extensively, because he's one of my favorite guys in this draft. You can watch this video later if you'd like. I'll try to touch on what I said, but one of my favorites because he is one of those 3-down running backs that I was just mentioning with Price. But this dude, Brian Robinson, is, in my opinion, the best pass protecting running back in this class. That's something we desperately need. So a 3-down running back who comes in, can handle short yardage situations. He's just perfect for what the Eagles need right now. I think you could bring back Jordan Howard after free agency is what I was saying if you don't get someone. But I think to me, if Brian Robinson falls to like a one-on-one, sign me up all day. So yes, BMO, couldn't agree more with you. But yes, we've gone through most of the top dogs here. I got one more little surprise buster here then coming, but it is what it is. This dude, Raheem Blackshear, Philly proud, really fun to watch. 5'9", 194, but he was my wild card. He is not. He's a little bit different than the others. He's one of those smaller running backs we mentioned in the beginning that I do not see the Eagles going after. We have Kenny Gainwell. We have Miles Sanders. The thing to me about Blackshear is, once again, we talked about what is the future plan with Miles Sanders. I don't know. So maybe they'd pull something wild. You never know. They want to do something crazy. You just saw they brought in Devin Allen, though. To me, what that says is obviously we need help in the return game. And that's something I've stressed over and over and over again. But if you were to want to bring in a kid that's literally, the problem is it's like Kenneth Gainwell all over again. So that's where I struggle bringing him in. But how could I not talk about a Philly kid that I think, I know probably wild to say that anybody, if they're willing, could take him in the third round. That would be quite a reach. But I think Blackshear is pretty fun to watch, man. And if you're looking at those stats right there, you see the dude can run the ball and catch the ball, and he can also return the ball. And he actually block. I think he is going to be one of the most slept on kids in this draft. And I think for the Eagles, probably not an option, but depending on what goes down, hey, I wouldn't be against, and I always love talking about the Philly dudes. So best of luck to you either way, Raheem. And look, I'd love to see it, but just don't see it happening. Appreciate you tuning in, Facebook user. I'm well, and I hope you are doing well also going through these running backs here. So I appreciate you taking the time, tuning in. All of you guys, ladies, everybody who tuned in, I truly appreciate you guys. Hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, whatever you're doing dude, I appreciate you guys. You support me more than I could have ever imagined. So I love you all. So thank you so much for asking. I'm doing better. I still can't really hear and still going through whatever and waiting for my CAT scan, but I appreciate you guys for asking. Try not to bore you with that stuff, but sometimes it kind of keeps me out of order. So I got to let you know what's going on. Appreciate you, though. I know the position is popular, but it's neat for the Eagles, but will you include punters and returners? Well, I'm talking about the returners, and of course, I talk about special teams. BMO, I know you're new here, but we break down every position here at On the Road to Victory. While everyone's talking about Deshaun Watson, we want to talk about the Eagles. So we're going to focus on all of it. And as we talked about with some of these running backs as return men, we'll go through with the wide receivers. And of course, we'll talk about with the corners. But there will be that most coveted special teams episode, which everybody I know always looks forward to with everything I do. But hey, I do them anyway. And some people do watch them and they comment and they appreciate that. I talk about the kickers, punters, long snappers, and the return men. So, here at On the Road to Victory, I will have you covered. So thank you for tuning in, man, and I hope you're enjoying the content. My bad. I didn't know if I needed to log. I hate it, man. It's so stupid. StreamYard's so dumb. I really hate it that you still have to click that. Jerry, hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you again. I don't know why it does that to Facebook people, but so I don't use Facebook. It drives me wild. Now let's get on to day 3, ladies and gentlemen. Got a bunch of guys that, oh my God, it was so hard to be like, okay, who am I? Like you just saw a bunch of pictures there. I really did not know because there's a lot of guys that I seriously didn't even get to talk about. And I wanted Ty Chandler right there. Didn't make a graphic on him. I'd love to talk about him. Jalen Warren. There's just a lot. It's really a fun draft class. I'll be honest with you. When I said that I thought this draft was loaded, Ty Davis Price, a bruiser from LSU. I mean, there's a lot I like here. Jashawn Corbin from Florida State, another kid I like. Probably not guys like Ely, the little backs, but look, man, I threw them all on here. Guys you're, interested in maybe. But for me, a lot of these guys could be Eagles, but oh my God, I tried to make whatever I could to talk about, show you some stuff, give me an opportunity to talk about some things. Somehow Keontae Ingram's graphic was not down there, so I must have passed him somehow. But let's touch on this young man. Now, this dude is one of my favorites as well. Really fun to watch. I think for me, we talk about what I'm looking for, right? And it's not just what I'm looking for. It's what the Eagles are looking for. But this dude is the prototypical running back that we need. And there are some knocks on this young man, and that's why we're talking about him dropping a little bit. But I think that this dude is everything we need and more. He's getting better with pass protection. You know, that's always my big thing I want to see from these guys. But he's got to work on some things. You know, they talk about, and look, I've seen it. He could definitely make some better decisions when hitting the hole. So his vision, whatever, you're going to hear some knocks on him, this, that, the other thing. But let me tell you something. Keontae Ingram is really, really fun to watch. And for me, you know, I compared him to Kareem Hunt, and I've now seen that comparison, and it's like, telling you, they're watching. Now, Keontae Ingram, for me, that's, once again, the perfect back you add in this room, and he can actually catch the ball as well. He's one of those guys where he can literally do everything. So we're looking exactly for that. And once again, he's working on that pass protection. And I think, you know, that's something you want to see from a back, but this is why we're not talking about him as one of the top backs. But Jordan Howard, that was one thing in his game that you'd love to see, pass protection. So whoever we bring in, I'd love to see that they can do that. Keontae Ingram, man, I love the way the dude actually catches the ball out of the backfield, not just runs the ball. So it's a 3-down back for me. Keontae Ingram could be, oh my God, a steal. Now, as much as I think he could go in round 3, I could definitely see him falling to 4. He could go in 5 even. This is such a weird draft. There's so many backs. And go watch the tape on a lot of these guys I'm talking about, and you'll see what I mean. It's really, really fun to watch these guys and just think about what they could do for this team. But it's a toss-up, dude. So Keontae Ingram, man, best of luck to you, but I would love to see you in Midnight Green. Now up next, we got a little Snoop-a-loop. Bring your green hat. Snoop Connor. Oh, that was good. I'm even impressed by myself sometimes. All right, let's keep it moving. So Snoop Connor from Ole Miss. This dude, another one. Love watching this little tough bruiser. And the weird thing about him is he has 32 games played, but he only started 2 games in the last couple of years. So, well, in his career. So in those 3 years he played, it's kind of weird that he really hasn't had time to really see the ball. But on the flip side of that, when you're talking, people say that, well, he doesn't have experience. I'm watching him. I know that he can run the ball. He can run the ball well. But for me, I think that this dude, as a little bruiser, it's perfect. You don't want wear and tear on those kind of running backs. We want him to be fresh when he gets here. So I think that this dude already has the frame to be an NFL running back. You add him into a committee. He's not a number 1 back. No, you had Snoop as your RB3. You got Miles, Kenny, and Snoop. Oh, hell yeah. Count me in. And I'm telling you, this kid is tough as nails, and he's really fun to watch. So go watch him. I think, you know, obviously not the fastest dude, but hey, that's fine. We're just looking for a bruiser, more of a one-cut, north and south kind of guy. You're not going to see anything wild watching. Even if you don't watch tape, if you just turn on highlights, you're probably just going to see more bruising runs than anything, but that's okay. That's what I'm looking for right now. We're talking about day 3. So it just is what it is, you know. Hey, man, you take care as well, Jerry. Really appreciate you tuning in. Hope all is well. Hope you enjoyed the holiday. Hopefully you're just staying safe out there, man. The draft is a week away. I cannot wait. So going to be going through this series. I won't be here Saturday and Sunday, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, going to get in all that I possibly can when it goes to defense, special teams. It's going to be nuts. I might surprise you with a little on my little vacation. Maybe I'll make a video. We'll see. We'll see what I can do, but it's going to be hard to try to do all this stuff. Regardless, Jerry, I appreciate you and all of you guys, but stay tuned, man, because I'll be live during the draft. We're going to have ourselves a damn good time, and I truly cannot wait. I'm just going to stress that over and over again because this draft is going to be awesome. So let's keep things rolling with the Dark Knight. This dude, one of my favorites, nickname Bam. Yeah, that's right. Another bruiser. You're getting tired of hearing it. I'm not. Zonovan Bam Knight. This dude, holy shit. He's fun to watch. And I'm going to be real with you. He was one of those guys where in my head, I'm thinking if this kid falls with one of those 5th round picks all day, sign me up for some Bam. Get Emerald in here, a little bam on you. I'm all about it. Once again, it's just we're looking at the same kind of deal here. This dude is a power back. He's already built to do it. And here's a great thing about him. He's actually a pass-catching back, so not just a bruiser. And this dude can actually return the ball. So He's really, really fun to watch. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of the issues with him, though, why I think he's going to be a day 3 pick, he does fumble the ball. I'm not going to be real with I am going to be real with you. He doesn't hit the hole very well, so he's got some issues for sure. Doesn't exactly break tackles as much. So you're wondering why I'm talking about more plowing through the hole rather than I am the shoelace kind of tackle, right? So yeah, the kid's a bruiser, though. I just think he needs a little bit more work. It's fine. Went to NC State. That's good. I don't care. I think Bam with one of those 3 5th-round picks. Oh, man, I'd be very happy. I like that kid. Go check him out. Bam, bam. You know it, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I'd be all for it, dude. He's really fun. Definitely go check him out. We got 2 more here. Bear with me here. 2 more. So next up on the list from Indiana, Stephen Carr. I think this is the young man that used to play at USC. Whatever. I think that's who it was. But regardless, what I watched from Indiana, yeah, that's who it is. Never mind. So anyways, Stephen Carr, this dude, I was thinking of Kevin Harris, my bad. So anyways, we're talking Stephen here, another bruiser. No surprise to you guys. This is what I am looking for. I think this kid would be going a lot higher if, once again, we're talking about an injured player. And I know people, he was hurt. Look, a lot of these kids are injured coming out of college, but that's why they fall. You just don't even know it. Not too much, of a stress when you're picking in later rounds on that. I mean, it still sucks. You don't want to see anybody, getting hurt. But see there, he only had 40 games and, he was there for 5 years. So you understand that he was banged up, redshirt, all that great stuff. So, he's got the skill set. He really does have the skill set to be an every down back, in my opinion. He's one of those guys that can block, catch. As you see on the right there, look, he can catch the damn ball too. So 7.6 yards per reception there. And look, he's really fun to watch. If he can stay healthy, I think he would be a steal. One of those, maybe that 7th-round pick, maybe you trade some of those 5th, get him in the 6th, whatever. We'll see where he falls, but it's a crapshoot with these running backs. Like I said, man, there was guys like Rashad White I wanted to talk about. The kid from North Carolina I mentioned, Ty Johnson. Look, there's so many. So many. And look, man, Kevin Harris, he's going to be the last one I'm talking about here, but there's so many more. I wish I could, because this is an exciting running back class. And, regardless of what we do in the future, I love me some Miles, but you always have to be looking toward the future. And I think a bruising back is just what the doctor ordered. So once again, a thumper, a bruising back. And there's another kid. He's got some, I think his was a back injury. That's pretty scary. You don't, you want to be careful with that. But I think that was not last year, but the year prior. But obviously, if he were healthy, he'd be going a lot higher. But this is a big dude, and man, can he plow some people over. So he's got great legs. Watching him, I'm talking about footwork, his movement, whether it be, hurling over dudes. Like the shit he does, dude's got some tough legs on him. So you want to watch their feet. You want to watch his quickness. He's got all those things. I think when you're talking about injuries, a lot of these guys will fall due to that. And he's one of those guys. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Those were the running backs that you should keep your eye on in this draft coming up next week. That's right, next freaking week. I cannot wait. I really, really cannot. So going to go enjoy myself down in Philly this weekend. But I had an opportunity to go to the draft. I just not going to be able to do it with life. So unfortunate, but if you guys are going, enjoy yourselves. Have a great time. This is going to be a great draft. Pick 15 and 18 right now as it stands day 1. And then the 8 other picks. So it's going to be lots of content to talk about. 10 players, possibly. You never know if we trade some of those. We could trade Andre Dillard, Gardner Minshew, Isaac Samuel. There's so many options here. But look, a lot of free agents are still available. What we do not draft positional wise, we can always add through free agency. So a lot of people already losing their, minds over here. Look, do not do that. Have patience. Let's see what happens in this draft. And then even after that, let's see how they fill it up with undrafted free agents and then just unrestricted free agents. So I'm excited, man. Still very excited about the future of this team. I hope you guys are as well. But I'm going to get rolling out tomorrow. We're talking wide receivers. So I hope you're excited about that. That's my favorite position. So I cannot wait to be talking about that with you guys. But let me know how you felt about this. Are there some running backs you felt I should have touched on or didn't have on these lists? Someone you think I should check out? Who's your favorite running back? Where do you think the Eagles should take them? Let me know in the comments down below. Always down to talk some birds with you. But I'm going to get rolling out here. Hope you're all having yourselves a great day. Hope you're ready for that weekend tomorrow. And then it's draft time next week. I can't believe it's a week away. Yes, finally. Stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Reach out if you need me. And as always, go Birds!